Your Honor, my father is clearly unfit to manage anything. I'm doing him a favor. That's what the man in the $1,500 suit said to me. He said it with a smile, like he was proud. I'm Judge Frank Caprio. I've sat in this courtroom at Providence Municipal Court for decades. I've seen criminals. I've seen liars. I've seen people so desperate they made terrible choices. But I've never seen a son look his own father in the eye and smile while destroying him. The old man next to him was shaking, not from cold, from fear. If you believe justice should be equal for everyone, you'll want to see what happens next. My bailiff, Officer Chen, called the case that Tuesday morning. The courtroom was already full. People somehow knew this one would be different. Case 2026 TR 4471, Chen announced. City of Providence versus Theodore Holloway. I looked at my screen. Theodore Holloway, 90 years old, 7 unpaid traffic violations, total fines of $3,200, failure to appear, warrant issued. An elderly man stood up slowly from the front bench. He wore a brown cardigan with patches on the elbows. His hands shook as he gripped a wooden cane. His face was thin, tired. His eyes looked scared. "Mr. Holloway," I said gently, "please come forward." He shuffled toward the defendant's table. Each step looked painful. Then a second man stood up, younger, 50-something, gray suit that probably cost more than most people make in a month, gold Rolex catching the courtroom lights, hair slicked back with gel. He walked with his chest out, chin up. He moved past the old man and took the spot right in front of me. "Your Honor, I'm Marcus Holloway," he said loudly. "I'm here representing my father. He's not capable of handling legal matters anymore." I looked at the old man, Teddy. He stood behind his son, head down, saying nothing. "Mr. Holloway," I said to the older man, "do you have an attorney?" Before Teddy could answer, Marcus cut in. "He doesn't need one, Your Honor. I handle everything for him now. I have power of attorney." I held up my hand. "Sir, I wasn't speaking to you." Marcus blinked. His smile didn't change. "Of course, Your Honor. I just want to make sure we're efficient here. My father gets confused easily." I turned back to Teddy. "Mr. Holloway, can you tell me what brings you to court today?" Teddy's lips moved, but no sound came out at first. Then quietly, "The tickets, Your Honor. I got tickets, but I don't understand. I don't drive much anymore." I looked at my screen again. 7 tickets, all from traffic cameras, running red lights, speeding. Each one showed the same vehicle, a silver Lexus SUV registered to Theodore Holloway. "Mr. Holloway, do you own a silver Lexus SUV?" I asked. "Yes, sir," Teddy said softly, "but I only drive it to the grocery store, maybe once a week. I don't go far." Marcus stepped forward. "Your Honor, my father's memory isn't what it used to be. He probably forgot about these trips. That's why I'm here. I'm taking responsibility now." Something didn't sit right. I've been doing this long enough to know when a story has holes. "Mr. Marcus Holloway," I said, "you said you have power of attorney over your father?" "That's correct." He reached into his jacket and pulled out a folded paper. "Signed and notarized 3 months ago." I gestured for him to bring it forward. Officer Chen took the document and handed it to me. I read it. Legal language. Standard stuff. Except one thing stood out. The signature line for Theodore Holloway looked shaky, uneven, like someone had held his hand while he signed. "Mr. Holloway," I said to Teddy again, "did you understand what you were signing when you gave your son power of attorney?" Teddy looked at the floor. He said it would help. He said I was getting too old and he'd take care of things. Marcus jumped in again. "Your Honor, with all due respect, we're here about traffic tickets. Can we resolve this quickly? I have a meeting at 11. The room went quiet. A few people in the gallery shifted in their seats. I leaned forward. "Sir, we'll take as much time as needed. This is a courtroom, not a drive-through." Marcus's smile faded just a little. "Of course, Your Honor, I didn't mean any disrespect." I nodded slowly. Then I looked at my clerk. "Ms. Rivera, Can you pull up the details on these citations? She clicked through her computer. All 7 violations occurred between January 10th and February 2nd of this year, all captured by traffic cameras at intersections downtown. Do we have the photos? I asked. Yes, Your Honor, pulling them up now. The large monitor on the side wall lit up. The first image appeared. A silver Lexus running a red light at the corner of Westminster and Union. The date stamp read January 10th, 9:47 p.m. I zoomed in on the driver's window. The person behind the wheel was not a 90-year-old man. It was Marcus. I could see his face clearly. The slicked back hair, the jawline, even the gold watch on his wrist as he gripped the steering wheel. Mr. Marcus Holloway, I said slowly, is that you driving your father's car? Marcus barely glanced at the screen. Your Honor, my father lets me borrow his car sometimes. Mine was in the shop that week. 7 times in 3 weeks? I asked. It was a complicated repair. I clicked to the next image. January 14th, 2:15 p.m. Same car, same driver, Marcus again. Then the next. January 19th, 11:22 p.m. And the next. January 24th, 8:03 a.m. Every single photo showed Marcus Holloway behind the wheel. So let me understand this, I said. You borrowed your father's car, committed 7 traffic violations, and then let the tickets go to him? Marcus shrugged. The car is registered in his name, Your Honor. Technically, he's responsible. A murmur ran through the gallery. Someone whispered, Are you serious? I raised my hand for silence. Mr. Marcus Holloway, I said. Did you tell your father about these tickets? I assumed he'd get the notices. Did you offer to pay them? Marcus hesitated. Your Honor, my father has resources. He can handle a few tickets. Teddy's head snapped up. His voice cracked. Resources? Marcus, you took my money. You said you were investing it. You said, Dad, stop, Marcus said sharply. He didn't even look at him. You're confused again. That's when I felt my jaw tighten. Mr. Holloway, I said to Teddy, what money are you talking about? Teddy's hands shook harder. My savings, Your Honor. I worked for the post office for 42 years. I saved $47,000. I kept it for emergencies, for my medical bills when I get older. Marcus said, he said he'd invest it for me. He said I'd signed papers. But now when I ask, he says it's complicated. Marcus stepped forward fast. Your Honor, this is a family matter. It has nothing to do with traffic court. It has everything to do with this, I said. Sit down. Marcus stiffened. He wasn't used to being told what to do. He sat. I turned to my clerk. Ms. Rivera, do we have anything else in the file? She nodded. Your Honor, the prosecutor's office flagged this case yesterday. They received a complaint from Teddy Holloway's bank. Suspicious account activity. What kind of activity? She read from her screen. Large withdrawals over a 3-month period, $47,000 removed in increments, all signed off by Marcus Holloway using power of attorney. The courtroom erupted. Voices overlapped. Someone shouted, That's theft. I banged my gavel. Order. Marcus stood up again. His face was red now. Your Honor, I have every right to manage my father's finances. He signed the paperwork. This is completely legal. Legal and ethical are 2 different things, I said. With respect, Your Honor, I don't think you understand how complicated elder care is. My father can't manage his own life anymore. Someone has to step in. And that someone just happened to take all his money and stick him with your traffic tickets? Marcus's smile came back, colder this time. Your Honor, I'm a successful businessman. I've donated to this city. I've contributed to campaigns. I've had dinner with the mayor. I think you'll find that my reputation speaks for itself. The room went dead silent. Officer Chen's hand moved toward his belt. I stared at Marcus Holloway for a long moment. Sir, I said quietly, are you trying to intimidate this court? No, Your Honor. I'm simply reminding you that I'm not some common criminal. I'm a pillar of this community. You're a man who stole from his own father. Marcus's face twisted. I didn't steal anything. That money is being managed properly. Where is it? That's confidential. Mr. Holloway, I'm ordering you to provide documentation showing where your father's $47,000 is currently located. Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. Your Honor, you don't have jurisdiction over financial matters. This is traffic court. This is my courtroom, I said, and I have jurisdiction over anything that affects the case in front of me. Marcus shook his head. This is ridiculous. I leaned forward. What's ridiculous is a grown man stealing his father's car, racking up tickets, draining his bank account, and then showing up here like he's the victim. I'm not the one on trial here, Marcus snapped. Maybe you should be. That's when he lost it. Marcus stepped closer to the bench. His voice rose. You know what, Your Honor? I'm done with this. My father is a confused old man who can't take care of himself. I'm the only one who stepped up. I feed him, I house him, I make sure he doesn't hurt himself. And if that means I use his resources, then so be it. He doesn't need that money. He's 90 years old. What's he going to do? Buy a sports car? The gallery gasped. Teddy's face crumpled. Tears ran down his cheeks. Marcus kept going. You want the truth? Fine. That money is mine now. I've earned it. I've put up with his confusion, his mess, his constant needs for years. That $47,000 is payment for everything I've done. And these tickets, they're his problem. It's his car, his name, his responsibility. If he can't handle it, maybe he shouldn't own a car. 10 seconds of silence. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then the gallery exploded. People stood up shouting. Someone yelled, "You're disgusting!" Another voice, "How can you say that?" Officer Chen stepped forward. I banged the gavel 3 times. "Order! Everyone sit down now!" The room settled, but the anger stayed. I looked at Marcus Holloway. His chest was heaving, his face was flushed. He realized too late what he'd just said. I spoke slowly, clearly. "Mr. Marcus Holloway, you just confessed in open court to financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult. You admitted to taking your father's life savings without his informed consent. You admitted to using his vehicle, committing violations, and allowing him to take the blame. And you did all of this while claiming to be his caretaker." Marcus opened his mouth. Nothing came out. "Let me tell you something," I continued. "I've been on this bench for a long time. I've seen every kind of person walk through that door, rich, poor, young, old, but the ones who disgust me most are the ones who prey on their own family. Your Honor, I'm not finished," I said. My voice was hard now. "Marcus, your father spent 42 years delivering mail. 42 years. Do you know what that means? It means he walked through snow, rain, heat, and cold to make sure people got their letters. He didn't get rich. He didn't get famous. He just did his job, and every month he put a little bit of money aside. A little bit. For decades, so that when he got old, he wouldn't be a burden on anyone." Marcus looked at the floor. "And you," I pointed at him, "you saw that nest egg and decided it was yours. You didn't ask. You didn't discuss. You just took. And when the consequences of your own actions came back, you hid behind him. You let a 90-year-old man take the fall for your mistakes." Teddy was crying openly now. His shoulders shook. "Your father is not confused, Marcus. He knows exactly what you did. And so do I." I turned to my clerk. "Ms. Rivera, I want the prosecutor's office contacted immediately. I want a full investigation into Marcus Holloway's handling of his father's finances. I want bank records. I want a forensic accountant. I want every dollar traced." "Yes, Your Honor." I looked back at Marcus. "As for the matter in front of me today, here's what's going to happen." I pulled up the case file. The 7 traffic violations captured on camera clearly show you, Marcus Holloway, driving the vehicle, not your father. Therefore, I am transferring all 7 citations from Theodore Holloway to you. The fines total $3,200. You will pay them in full within 30 days. Marcus's face went pale. "But that's just the start," I said. "Because you allowed your father to be issued a warrant, he spent 2 weeks terrified that the police would arrest him. He's 90 years old, Marcus. He has a heart condition. You put his health at risk. I kept going. You are hereby ordered to immediately return full control of Theodore Holloway's finances to him. Any remaining funds from the original $47,000 will be deposited back into his personal account within 72 hours. You will provide proof of this transaction to the court. Your Honor, that money is gone, spent, invested in your business? I stared him down. Then you'll liquidate assets, sell property, take a loan. I don't care. You will return every penny. Marcus clenched his fists. Furthermore, I continued, you are ordered to complete 200 hours of community service, not at some charity gala where you shake hands and take photos. Real work. You'll report to the Cathedral Square Senior Center every Saturday and Sunday for the next 6 months. You'll serve meals. You'll mop floors. You'll help elderly residents with daily tasks, the same elderly residents you think are so beneath you. Someone in the gallery clapped. Then another. Then the whole room erupted in applause. I banged the gavel. We're not done. The room quieted. You'll also write a handwritten apology to your father, 500 words minimum. You'll read it aloud to him in a monitored setting with a court-appointed social worker present, and you'll mean it, Marcus, because if I sense for 1 second that you're going through the motions, I'll hold you in contempt. Marcus's lawyer instincts finally kicked in. Your Honor, I'd like to request. You can request all you want. Here's what else. Your power of attorney over your father is revoked effective immediately. The court will assign an independent guardian to review Teddy's care and finances. You'll have no access to his accounts, his property, or his medical decisions until a full investigation is complete. You can't do that. I just did. Marcus's face turned red. This is insane. You're punishing me for trying to help my father. You're not helping him, I said. You're stealing from him. He gave me permission. Did he? I looked at Teddy. Mr. Holloway, did you want your son to take your money? Teddy shook his head. His voice was barely a whisper. No, sir. I just wanted help paying my bills. I turned back to Marcus. There's your answer. Marcus exploded. This is a joke. You're a joke. I'll appeal this. I'll have your decision overturned. I know people, Your Honor. I know judges. I know city council members. You're making a big mistake. That was it. Bailiff, I said calmly, take him into custody. Officer Chen moved fast. He grabbed Marcus's arm. What? No, you can't. You just threatened a sitting judge, I said. That's contempt of court. You're spending the night in jail. We'll have a review hearing tomorrow morning. Maybe a cell will teach you some humility. Marcus struggled as Chen pulled his arms behind his back. The handcuffs clicked. This is insane, Marcus shouted. I'll sue. Keep talking, I said. Every word adds another day. Marcus finally shut his mouth. Chen led him toward the side door. The whole courtroom watched in silence. Before he disappeared, Marcus looked back at his father. Teddy didn't look up. The door closed. I took a breath. Then I spoke to Teddy. Mr. Holloway, I'm dismissing all charges against you. You're free to go. The court will also be issuing you a full refund for any payments you've already made related to these violations. Teddy looked up at me. His eyes were wet. Thank you, Your Honor. Don't thank me, I said gently. You didn't deserve any of this. A victim advocate from the prosecutor's office stood up. Your Honor, we'd like to arrange temporary housing assistance for Mr. Holloway if needed. Please do, I said, and make sure he has access to legal aid for any civil claims he wants to pursue. Teddy nodded slowly. He looked so tired. I watched him shuffle out of the courtroom, helped by the advocate. He moved slowly, but his shoulders seemed a little less heavy. 3 weeks later, I got an update. Marcus Holloway had returned $31,000 to his father's account. The rest was unrecoverable, tied up in failed real estate deals. The court ordered him to pay the remaining $16,000 in monthly installments. He completed his first weekend of community service. The senior center supervisor reported that he showed up late, complained constantly, and refused to help one resident because it wasn't his job. I added another 50 hours to his sentence. Teddy Holloway, meanwhile, moved into a small assisted living apartment. He had his money back, he had his independence, and he had a new volunteer who visited him twice a week, a retired teacher who helped him manage his bills and paperwork. Teddy told the social worker he finally felt safe again. Marcus never apologized. Some people never learn. I sat alone in my courtroom that evening after everyone had left. The lights were dim, the room was quiet. I thought about Teddy, about the 42 years he spent walking through rain and snow, about the money he saved, dollar by dollar, about the son who saw his father not as a person, but as a paycheck. And I thought about the thousands of other elderly people out there, right now, being taken advantage of by the people they trust most. It happens every day. Family members who drain accounts, who forge signatures, who isolate their parents and grandparents, who convince themselves they're owed something. It's one of the cruelest crimes I know, because it doesn't just steal money, it steals dignity, it steals trust, it steals the one thing every person deserves at the end of their life, peace. Teddy Holloway worked his whole life to earn that peace, and his son tried to take it, but not in my courtroom, not on my watch. Justice isn't just about punishment, it's about protection. It's about standing up for the people who can't stand up for themselves anymore. And it's about reminding people like Marcus Holloway that no matter how much money you have, no matter who you know, no matter how important you think you are, you're not above the law, and you're sure as hell not above your father.